Well, good evening, everybody. It's September the 30th. It's the end of the month. It's Thursday, and you all know what that means. It means it's time for Let's Talk to Cutler. This is Cutler here, and you're joining me. Listen, I only need 1,800 seconds tonight. I promise you. That's all I need is 1,800 seconds. So if you're passing by for the very first time, do me a favor, just stop. This channel is about inspiration. It's about motivation. It's about challenging us to show up a little bit better tomorrow than we did today. And it comes from a place of sincerity. It comes from a place of just being concerned about our fellow man, our fellow human beings. We're all on this journey together. So we take a few moments to just look back at the day. It doesn't mean that today was a flop. It doesn't mean that today was a wash. It doesn't mean that today was a waste. It just means that we're taking the time to see how can I show up a little bit better tomorrow than I did today. How can I do some self-improvement, some self-awareness, some self-love, some self-growth, some self-building, some self-edification? It's about all of those things. So what we usually do for this past year, rather, we've taken a look at some quotes from this book right here, Billboards to Better, 366 Daily Sources of Motivation and Inspiration Along the Highway of Life. And we take a look at these quotes and we unpack them and we see how do they pertain to us and how do they pertain to our lives and how can we grab something and share it with somebody else, because even if it doesn't pertain to us, it pertains to somebody in our space, in our circle. And even if it might not pertain to us at that moment, it could very well help us tomorrow. So we take a look at those quotes, and you all know what I usually do within these 1,800 seconds. I'll open with a probing question just to sort of get your mind flowing and your mind thinking. And tonight is no different. I want to do the same thing, because as I think about tonight, you all, I realize that sometimes life and its people will distract you, and they'll cause you to lose your focus. They'll cause you to lose your traction. They'll bring all this negativity and negative energy. So tonight I wanted to talk about rechanneling our energy and refocusing and getting back on track. That's what I want to talk about tonight. How to reroute, how to refocus, how to resume, how to get back on track. We're going to talk about all that and so much more tonight. But do me a favor, go ahead and do a thumbs up on the conversation. Make sure that you share this with somebody. Tell them to come on. Let's talk to Cutler. Tell them to make sure that you subscribe. All that good stuff. But tell them we're going to talk about how to refocus, rechannel, and resume as soon as we come back. I'll be right back. I promise you.
Let's talk to God. One more thing, like, subscribe and share. Come on, let's talk to God.
All right, you all, it's Cutler, and I'm back. It's September the 30th. Here we are at the end of the month, and I'm glad about it. I am glad to be here at the end of the month, and I hope you all are as well. I want to say thank you for taking this journey with me. Thank you for being one of my fellow passengers, because each time we show up, it is about inspiration, motivation, checking to see how we can be better tomorrow than we were today. Tomorrow was not a flop, but we promised ourselves to mean and do better. I love your comments so much the last time, because you all were just packing the chat with, I mean better. If I don't mean anything else, I mean better. I want to say thank you all for joining me this evening. Make sure that you go and tell somebody to come on and let's talk to Cutler. Make sure that you do a thumbs up on the conversation if you haven't already. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you'll know whenever I've gone live, whenever I've uploaded new content, when I've done all that kind of stuff. All right. And of course, what do? We get started with this quote, and we're going to do all that kind of stuff. But before we get started with the quote, I want to say this to you all. I am so glad to see so many of you all back and chatting, my fellow passengers. I've missed you all. So let me shout out our LTTC VIPs for the evening. Those tend to be the people who really jumped to the chat early. And the top 3 people this evening are Tracy Johnson, who says, hey, Cutler and everyone, I got my front seat. Tracy, I know that's right. Front seat. There's a front seat big enough for everybody. All right. This is probably the largest front seat in social media. So tell people there's room on the front seat. The largest. I may remember that. The largest front seat in social media. Natural Diva, my friend, it's good to see you. Natural Diva says, good evening, all. My friend K Sharp, it's good to see you. Listen, I appreciate all of you for joining. It's good to see some of you are back because guess what, you all? I know that we've been dealing with so many things. We've been dealing with life. Life has been happening. Some of you all have been dealing with death and sickness and disease and all of that. Some of you all have been dealing with COVID, not once, but twice and sometimes 3 times. So I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that we are surviving this thing called life. And each Tuesday and Thursday, we are reminded that we can do it because we are stronger together than we are separate. We are stronger together than we are individually. We're stronger together as a unit. That is the thing. That's what synergism is all about. Synergism means that when we come together, it's not just 1 + 1 = 2, but when the 1 and the 1 comes together, we are strong as 10,000. All right. So that's why I appreciate this thing called synergy. And that's why I appreciate these 1800 seconds, because we're doing stuff. We're making things happen. And while some of the people are just doing the mundane, routine things, we are becoming better. All right. Let's see. I'm glad to see you all. All right. So tell somebody else, fellow passengers, come on. Tomorrow, Wendy, that's right. Today was great, but tomorrow is going to be better. Tomorrow is definitely going to be better. All right. So here we are. We're closing out the month. And guess what? We're on Word Guard. I got some Word Guard activities for us tonight. So let's get started, y'all. Don't y'all hold me up. I only got 1800 seconds. And I'm only going to do 2 quotes tonight. I'm going to do 2 quotes. I got 2 poems. We're doing stuff. So I want to do this quote, you all. September the 29th. The quote says, "You can't fix yourself if you're always fighting others. Stop fighting and start fixing." You can't fix yourself if you're always fighting others. Stop fighting and start fixing. That spoke to me in so many ways today, you all. So let me just unpack that and tell you what it reminds me of. That quote alone says to me, stop, slow down, calm down, breathe, reroute your energy. It says all of that to me. All of that it says. It's a reminder to make yourself a priority. This is about self-care, self-help, self-love, self-edification, self-building, all of that stuff. Because I've discovered that we spend so much time fighting other people, you all, until we forget and we sometimes forsake ourselves. You all know I'm so big on self-care and self-help and self-love. Stop focusing on other people. Stop fighting other people to the point that you forget and you forsake yourself. Don't do that. Some folk will fight with anybody, any place, for any reason. They fight with the dog. They fight with people. They fight with the goldfish. They fight with the turtle. They fight with everybody, everything, and for every reason. For some people, their day is not complete until they spew out negative energy and they exhibit negative behavior towards somebody. For some people, their day is not complete until they've done all of that. You know what I call them? I call them mean. I call them hateful, and I call them nasty. I know sometimes you all come here saying Cutler is a walking thesaurus and a walking lexicon, but not tonight, you all. My vocabulary fails me tonight, and I just can't think of anything else to call people who are always tangled up in a fight, fighting people. I mean, I could think of a few words, but for the sake of keeping it simple, tonight I'm calling them mean and nasty and hateful. And I only have 2 words for those people. Stop it. Just stop it. When are you going to stop fighting others and take the time to fix yourself? And I know that may not necessarily be for us tonight, but it may be for somebody in our circle. It may be for us because we are a victim of people who are fighting us. And sometimes you want to tell them that's not the way to make this happen. That's not the way, that is not the way to become better. And we are becoming better. Y'all know how people look when they've been fighting, right? Some people are just trouble starters and they fight all the time. And think about this, you all know how people look when they've been fighting all the time. When I tell you my country accent is going to come out tonight, they sweating, they huffing and puffing, their clothes are a mess, their hair's a mess, their face is a mess, their attitude's a mess, everything about them is a mess. I want to ask them, are you so broken until the only time you feel better about yourself is fighting others? That's a bad way to live. Are you so incomplete until the only way you feel whole is by attacking, criticizing, and degrading others? There is something seriously wrong with the person who derives more joy from fighting others than he or she does from fixing him or herself. Something wrong. I don't know about you all, but it's more important for me to fix me than it is to break you. Can I say that again? It's more important for me to fix me than it is to break you. What am I saying? I'd rather spend my time fixing me than fighting you. When I grew up, we used to say, speaking of country, when I grew up, we used to say things like this: I've got 6 months to mind my business. Have you all heard that? And 6 months to leave yours alone. I grew up with that saying. I grew up with that cliche. But it was more than just a hackneyed expression. It was more than just a hyperbole. It was more than just overused statement. I've got 6 months to mind my business and 6 months to leave yours alone. It's all I can do to keep me together. It's all I can do to keep me together. And if the truth be told, one of the best ways to fix me is not by fighting you, but forgiving you. And this may have, I see you all are putting this in the comments. Some of you have never heard of that saying, but I see your comment. Some people think they are already fixed. And if you want to be able to gauge whether you're fixed or not, see how often you are engaged in conflict with other people. See how often you are in conversations where you're criticizing and degrading other people. Look in the mirror and listen to and look at your conversation. And I'm telling you all, sometimes we are able to spot broken people before they spot themselves. It is just this thing about the human ego. When people who are broken, they don't always see their brokenness, and they don't see it because they're so busy attacking other people. The best way to fix me is not by fighting you, but forgiving you. This quote is about you can't fix yourself if you're always fighting. I'm telling you all, forgiving is one of the best way to fix yourselves. Whatever makes me fight you, whatever makes me want to fuss at you, whatever makes me want to assault, attack, accuse, accost you, whatever makes me want to do all that, that's the very thing that I need to learn how to forgive you of. I'm telling you, so tonight when we talk about how to refocus and how to do all this stuff, if you want to know how to refocus, rechannel, and resume, learn how to forgive. Don't fight. Don't fight, but forgive. You want to better yourself? Now that's a challenge for us. If we really want to better ourselves, let's learn how to forgive. Forgive so that you can be made whole. Forgive so that your conscience is clear. Forgive so that if you're in the same space, you don't have to get up and go to the other side of the room when they come in. Oh my goodness, I might just be punching a nerve tonight. And I don't mean to punch your nerves, but I do mean to make us better. Because you all know I promise to be truthful and transparent when I come to this space. Let's learn how to forgive you all. So if I'm in the room with somebody, I don't have to get up and walk across the room just because they came in. Forgive so that when you're invited to a party, you don't have to decline the invitation just because you think they might show up. What is that all about? You are never fixed completely unless you're fixed internally. And when you don't have forgiveness, that's not an internal fix, you all. That is not an internal fix. Some of you all said, punch our nerves, sir. We want to be made better. I'm telling you all, forgiveness is the key to self-fixing. It is the key because it is more about you than it is the other person. I don't ever want to have to get up and walk across the room just because somebody came in that I couldn't forgive. I don't ever want to have to decline an invitation just because I'm wondering if the person that I haven't forgiven is going to show up. What is that all about? I want to be fixed internally. And when we say that we're fixed, here is how you know whether or not you're fixed. Why? Because we don't get to harbor hatred. We don't get to regard iniquity in our heart and walk around talking about how whole and complete we are. You're harboring hatred, you're regarding iniquity, and you're bragging about how whole you are. You are whole, a whole liar. Did I say that? Oh my God. That came out before I knew it. We're broken and we need to be fixed. And I can speak, you all, from experience. I can share personal detail. There have been several times when I didn't have full forgiveness. May I be transparent, because maybe I'm the only one who's being transparent in this moment. I got to tell you all this. There have been times when I wanted to get people back for hurting me, for lying on me, for bad mouthing me, and for mistreating me. And as big of a person as I thought I was, thought I was upstanding, thought I was doing the right thing, thought I was morally good, thought I was being a good Christian. And the Bible says, pray for your enemies. And that's exactly what I was doing, y'all. You want to know how I prayed? I'm telling you what I would pray. Lord, you know how to handle them. Contend with them. Fight on my behalf. That's the kind of stuff I was saying. That wasn't right. But that's the kind of stuff I was doing, because I was hurt. I was offended. I'd been bad-mouthed. I've been talked about, all that kind of stuff. What am I saying, you all? Don't let people's behavior cause you to lose your focus. Not to the point where you are so busy fighting them until you forget how to fix you. No. I'm more important to me. My being fixed is more important than my fighting you. What is my offering to us tonight? You all know I only have 1,800 seconds, and I like to give us an offering. What is my offering to us tonight? My offering is readjusted focus. The ability to see that I'm important to me. The ability to see that you are not going to distract me from being able to focus and to resume my walk along this thing that's called journey, my walk along this thing that's called destiny, my walk along this thing that's called purpose, my walk along this thing that's called life. My offering is readjusted focus. I got 6 months to mind my business and 6 months to leave yours alone. 6 months to work on bettering me, 6 months to work on improving me, 6 months to work on just showing up more confident rather. Can't fix yourself if you're always fighting other people. Why? Because my hands are consumed with the fight rather than the fix. My focus is then on the fight rather than the fix. I don't have time for that. And I know that you don't either. Listen, y'all, if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you do a thumbs up on this conversation, because if this quote doesn't pertain to you, you know some people to whom it applies. I'm telling you. You all, what are we going to say to people? What are we going to say to people when we see them so busy in fights? If I'm not just my brother's keeper and my sister's keeper, but I'm my brother and my sister, I feel some accountability to say to them, stop fighting so much and fix you. We need you in this space. We need you in this circle, and we need you to be your best you. Stop fighting and start fixing. Your hands are tied up fighting. Your heart is distracting it's being distracted in this feud. Can't do that. All right, I've got to go on. Somebody said, drop your improvements in the offering. I want to know how many of us are going to start focusing on the fix rather than the fight. Just let me know. I'm curious. Let me know that if you're going to start focusing on the fix rather than the fight. We are accountable for and to each other. That is a part of why we show up every Tuesday and Thursday in this space, you all, because we are responsible and accountable for and to each other. I want to be better, but I don't want to be better by myself. And I want to be better, and my being better, becoming better, as a function of my listening to what my sister, my brothers offers me. All right. I want to go into the next quote, the one for September 30th. And it says, gossiping with one group gets your name inserted on the subject line of another group. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love your mission is much more important than your yes, Wendy, your mission is much more important than your moment. And sometimes we get lost in the emotions of the moment. We get lost in the we get lost in the details of what's going on with our emotions at that time. Focus on the principle and not the personality. I'm focused on the principle of winning. I'm focused on the principle of becoming better, not the personality that's trying to distract me. All right. But let me get back to gossiping, you all. I got to get to this one. Gossiping with one group gets your name inserted on the subject line of another group. I told y'all I'm talking about my country living and all that kind of stuff tonight. I grew up in an area where it seemed like the favorite pastime of so many people was gossiping. I'm not calling the name of where I grew up, but I'm telling you all, I grew up in an area where it just seemed like the pastime of so many people was gossiping, you all. The women gossip, the men gossip, the children gossip. And there seemed to be this competition to see who could get and spread the gossip the fastest and the farthest. Did anybody else grow up like that? Or do you know people like that? Don't give me their names. I just want to know if anybody else is familiar with that kind of setting. And these people, they would gossip about things that didn't concern them, stuff that wasn't even their business, stuff that wasn't going to change their lives one way or another. What does it matter with you? What's going on in somebody else's house? What do you have to do with that? I think one of the reasons why I don't engage in a lot of conversation circles today is because I don't like gossip. And because I'm very direct and sometimes very curt and very short whenever people try to bring gossip my way. One of the things that I'm not is a garbage can. One of the things that I'm not is a garbage can. You don't get to bring gossip and garbage my way and think that I'm not going to address it and that I'm not going to call you on it. I don't like gossip and I don't trust gossipers. Now that's Cutler being transparent, you all. I'm telling you, I don't like gossip and I don't trust gossipers. Not at all. Not at all. Have you all ever heard the saying that a dog that carries a dog that brings a bone will carry a bone? Mm-mm. And I know some people who love gossip. I have relatives who love gossip. I know some people who, if you want to know something, just call them. And if you want something told, just tell them. Don't get me wrong. I like to know what's going on in my family, my circles, and in settings that affect me. I do want to know. But gossiping is not so important to me that I have to be the first person to tell somebody who died, who's sleeping with who, and who went to the hospital, and whose marriage broke up, and whose business failed, and whose children went to jail. No, that's not important to me. Your relationship failed, I'm sorry, but I don't need to gossip about that. Who you're sleeping with, I don't need to gossip about that. The fact that your children failed, flunked out of college, I don't need to gossip about that. Your car being repossessed, your house being foreclosed, that's not good news. I don't need to focus on any of that. That's not important. I don't need to be the first to. I see what you're saying. Yeah, words have wings. Yes, they do. And I don't need to be the first to carry bad news. Let me say this. Be careful about how you carry bad news because bad news will carry you. May I say that again? Be careful about how you carry bad news because bad news will carry you. Before you know it, your name will be dishonored. Your reputation will be messed up. Your character will be scarred and you will be disgraced. You're right. I see your comments. You're right. Some of those people, they don't know that they need to be fixed, but it's our responsibility to gently point it out to them, and sometimes not so gently. Don't end up being carried by bad news, because some of the same people that you gossip with, they will pretend that they never had a conversation with you a day in their lives. You all know I'm telling the truth. That's why you can't be so quick to gossip. So the next time you're around somebody who gets ready to gossip, just tell them don't. Just don't. Cutler, you said we're going to talk about how to refocus. Let me tell you how. Instead of doing that, pray, meditate, read, exercise, go for a walk. Find something constructive to do with your time and with your mouth. That's what you tell them. When they come to you with all that garbage, just say to listen, I'm not a garbage can. You might want to find something a little more constructive to do with your mouth. They might not like you in the moment, but you tell them. So you all help me out. Since we only have 1,800 seconds, you all help me. Tell me some of the constructive things that you all do to avoid misusing your time, so that you don't allow people to treat you like a garbage can. No, I'm not a garbage can. You don't get to bring that mess my way. And what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to smile and say, hey, you really? No, I'm not going to smile and entertain the garbage, because I believe that if you would bring garbage to me, you would take garbage about me. Absolutely not. I'm sorry. I will never forget my 96-year-old great aunt. I remember when she died, and I spoke on behalf of the family. And I said one of the things I loved about my aunt was that she wasn't a garbage can. When you would come her way, she would shake her hand like this, like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Don't you know that when you are in the middle of a gossip garbage ring, you all please catch this. There are people who will gossip with you and turn right around and gossip about you. Help me out, y'all. Tell me some of the constructive things that you all do to avoid misusing your time. Do you go for a walk? Do you read? Do you cook? Do you pray? Do you take a nap? What do you all do? Turn on the TV. I would rather watch something mindless on TV than to allow people to bring garbage my way. Don't get to bring garbage my way. All right. You all, where these quotes coming from? Right here. Billboards to Better, 366 daily sources of motivation and inspiration along the highway of life. We're reading this book. That's where these quotes are coming from. So if you're tuning in, if you're joining for the first time, run over there and get this book. Do you need it to join the conversation? No, it's not a must have, but it's a ought to have and should have. All right. Thank you. So one person, when it says, I ride my bicycle. You all know lately I've recommitted myself to a healthier living, so I walk. What do you do to avoid that idle time? Please put it in the chats. Let me know. Speaking of avoiding idle time and watching our words, you all know this. We are on Word Guard. Thank you. You all, they're sharing with you all things to do. One person says, ride my bicycle. Another person says, I try new recipes, cooking. Learn to do something. What do you all do? Because just as you all are giving some of these suggestions, when I tell you, I'm going to glean from you all. Take a page from your book. Try some of the stuff that you all are telling me. All right? We are on Word Guard. You all know I started the month of September by saying we are on Word Guard. We're watching our words. We're making positive statements about us and about the people and the things that are in our lives. We're speaking positive affirmations. So this month, we've been using words that begin with the letters C and B, G, H, P. We've been using just different letters. We've been using different letters. And tonight is not going to be an exception. As this is the last month, the last day of the month of Word Guard, I think we may do this a little later as well, because I've sort of liked Word Guard. I want to use the letter T as in Tom tonight. And I want you all to help me talk about refocusing and rerouting our energies and resuming our course along purpose and our course to destiny. I want to use words that begin with the word T. I am statements or I have statements. Let's put ourselves on word guard and speak positivity. So you all help me. Start flooding the chat with words that begin with T. I am blank. And whatever the blank is, let me know what they are. All right. Another person says, in terms of feeling the space, one person says, hey, do it, use meditation and listening to 80s and 90s music. All right. Give me these T words for I am. All right, and here they come, you all. If you're not in the chat, but you can hear me, I am thankful. Absolutely. I am thankful. I've learned to appreciate life, what I have in life, where I am in life, and where I'm going. So I am thankful. Another T word, I am teachable. I am here. I am open to learning. I'm open to learning how to respond to the environment. I'm open to learning how to become better with each passing day. I don't know everything. I am teachable. I am terrific. I look at myself and I realize that I'm not all bad. No, have I dotted every I? No, have I crossed every T? No, I've made some mistakes, but guess what? I am terrific. I look at myself and I realize there's value in me. There are blessings in me. There's goodness in me. I'm terrific. Come on, keep giving them to me, you all. What about I am talented? I have gifts and talents and skills that help me navigate life. I'm talented. I just didn't come here as an empty vessel. I am thinking. Yes, I am a thinker. I am deliberate in how I manage life. Right along the heels of that, I'm thoughtful. I just don't do things haphazardly, but I plan and I give consideration to it. You all talk to me. These are great T words when we talk about positive affirmations and being on word guard. What about this one, you all? I am triumphant. I know that I have my challenges, but ultimately I win. I'm victorious. I'm more than a conqueror. I am triumphant. Anymore you all give them to me, and while you all are giving them to me, I think of some on my own. I'm timely. I don't like to waste my time or anybody else's. I like to show up on time, be present. And when I show up, show up. That's it, Tracy. You just read my mind. I'm careful with my time. I'm timely. I'm tactful and I'm tasteful. I'm strategic about what I do. I plan, I sort out. I just don't go out there blind and not knowing, not having some kind of plan, but I map things out. I'm tactful, I'm deliberate, and I'm tasteful. You're not just going to find me out just doing things without trying to bring a pleasant aroma, a pleasant feel, a pleasant ambience to it. I like to be tasteful. I'm tough, just use the I'm tough. I'm not going to cower all the time. I don't bow down to fear. I'm tough. So that means I'm resilient. Things don't always get me down. It hits me, but it bounces off of me. Y'all, just a few more. Give me just a yes. I'm transparent. As a matter of fact, so I like that one because I will say I'm truthful, which means I'm honest. But not only am I honest, not only am I truthful, but I'm also transparent. Transparent means that I don't have any hidden agendas. I don't have any ulterior motives. I'm transparent. What you see is what you get. I don't have to hide the ball. I'm tolerant. It means I have a degree of patience. I don't run out of patience with everybody and everything. I know how to be tolerant. I love that one. I am a testimony. My life speaks to who I am. You want an example of how to navigate life? Look at me. My life testifies to who I am. My life is a testimony of grace. My life is a testimony of redemption. My life is a testimony of forgiveness. My life is a testimony of we fall down, but we get back up. My life is a testimony that all things work together for my good. I will try new things. I'm not stuck in a rut. I'm not stuck in just doing things just because that's how they were done. I want to thank you all for these words. These are T words that speak to who we are. I'm a thinker. I'm tranquil. I'm peaceful. I don't thrive in mess. I thrive in tranquility. I don't like messy stuff. I'm tidy. I'm tenderhearted. And I have temperance, self-restraint, and patience. All right? You all listen. For the gossipers, for people who are fighting other folk, didn't I just say earlier, I said they are a whole lie? Listen, y'all, I got to go. But here's what I want to do. I want to share this with you. In one of my books, there's this poem in this book is called Goodbye Lie. The problem with me, as I can see, is that my name is infidelity. Unfortunately, that may be true, but tell me now the problem with you. The problem with her spirit is torn, and her name, just call her scorn. Still, I say that's okay, but I have not heard your name today. Gossipers, the problem with him is not just his name. He lives in misery, and we call him shame. But who's to blame for ill-gotten fame? Still, we wait to hear your name. Now, the problem with us, and this is so true, for the longest time, we've known all about you. There's nothing thrilling about your name, nothing fulfilling about your game, nothing redeeming about your type. No one can believe all your hype. The problem with you is that your name is liar. You were born a lie, you've lived a lie, and when you die, you will die a lie. Goodbye, lie. You all, I hope you enjoyed that poem. That was out there for the gossipers and the liars and the like. Listen, do me a favor. You all know I'm here for 1800 seconds every Tuesday and Thursdays. Please, every Tuesday and Thursday. Please tell people to join and come on. We're on our way to some place called better, and we're not going to get there alone. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. You all keep your heads up. More importantly, keep your hopes up. There's still a pandemic out there. This Delta variant. Stay safe and stay sane. And please know this, that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. Good night.